Good morning. Welcome to our TV show, Contemporary Women. I'm Grace.
And I'm Flavia.
Today we are going to deal with a current topic, which is the role of women in African societies.
To better understand the issue of this topic, we have to ask some guests. First, Mrs. Florence, the CEO of Bank.
Mr. Poleme, the Minister of Education.
Mrs. Odelis, the Major General, the Head of Peacekeeping Center of Journée.
Mr. Dolly, a computer scientist.
Mrs. Yang, a student in engineering.
Mrs. Kendra, a student in business law.
Mrs. Ines, a nurse.
And Mrs. Bintu, a housewife.
And Mr. Ryan, the CEO of the NASA. To start, I have a question for you, Kendra. What is the place of women in African society? First of all, I want to thank you, Solim and Flavia, for inviting me here, because it's a big honor for being here. And to answer to your question, I want to say that since the dawn of time, in all African traditions, women are considered as inferior to men and have to be submitted. And they are supposed to stay at home, take care of the neatness, the children, the husband, and all that stuff. But nowadays, women of the new generation are breaking all the rules, and the old tradition is changing. Indeed, the emancipation of women permits them to be more present in the society and to have a better place in it. Until this day, women are continuing this fight for a perfect equality. Thank you.
In all African societies, women were considered as inferior to men, but now there is an emancipation of women. Mr. Ryan, how can you define an African woman?
In my opinion, an African woman is being able to overcome all difficulties in life while keeping a big smile. She is also a woman whose virtue is limitless. It means that she never goes against what is against her principles. She is one of pillars who support and maintains order in the family. It's considered that a house where there is no female presence is necessarily a disorderly home. This therefore makes her a well for her continent.
So for Mr. Ryan, the African woman is the person who can stand up in front of the problem and smile regardless of the This is Ines. Are gender differentiation cultural based?
Thank you for the question. I think that differences related to gender vary according to cultures and periods of evolution of each society. But they define the differences of treatment and the social positioning. Gender relations are specific to each culture, which determine their function, their responsibilities, and their implication in their daily life. That's why people with different cultures have different gender mindsets.
So for Mrs. Ines, the gender differentiation depends on cultures, and it's not something African, and it is something universal. Mrs. Bintu, do you think there are respective roles according to gender?
Thank you. I want to say that according to African values, women have to dealing with housekeeping, especially house chores, cooking, taking care of their husband and children. Even if she has a job or is highly renowned, she still has to take care for all that. And in our society, since she is good, girls are trained to take care for household. And therefore, I want to say that there are specific roles for men and women.
So for Mrs. Bintu, women have to do house chores even if they have a job. So, Mrs. Tan, do you share this point of view?
I don't share a point of view because, like we know, men and women have the same capacities from birth. Therefore, each of them can do anything. For instance, in household, a man can help his wife in house chores. Nowadays, we can see that women have more responsibilities in professional work. And I don't see why a social difference will become a professional difference. So I think that we have to change our mentality on this topic, and this will raise the status of an African woman. Thank you.
So for Mrs. Diane, there are no respective roles according to gender, and we have to change this mentality. Mrs. Florence, It is believed in African societies that households are mentors. Do you share this point of view?
I'm not okay with that because it's true that in African society, we often say that women fare better from the house than men and have taken it natural because of the education they have received. But not that we can say it's only a work of women. The men can also help the women in this task.
So, for Mrs. Florence, men and women can share the task in a household. Mrs. Odelis, do you think that men have to help their wives in African societies?
Of course, men must help their wives not only in African society, but around the world. Just like women's moral support their men shouldn't support women only financially but on all things. Especially in Africa where children fear more their father, so he can help in education, for example. Thank you.
So for Mrs. Odelis, men have to help their wife in all aspects of the life. Mr. Louis, is promoting gender equality a denial of one's culture?
Thank you for the question. Since the African culture places women and the men and encourages them to home task or household chores, but until this day, things have been changing and women acquire many rights, like education, for example. So I think that we can state even the culture can change, and consequently, according to me, promoting gender equality is not a denial of one's culture as long as we consider the African culture as a constantly evolving culture.
So, for Mr. Louis, there have been many changes in African societies, but it is not a denial of one's culture. Now we will hear the point of view of the Minister of Education, Mr. Paul. Can gender equality become a reality in Africa?
We have all noticed that things are changing in Africa, and for me, gender equality is possible and attainable in Africa. Nevertheless, there is a mentality that we have to overcome. It's a mentality which consists to put women under men. We have to overcome it and make things great.
So the minister is optimistic, hoping someday we could reach gender equality in Africa.
Now I let Mrs. Kenjua say a last word to present all the guests.
So I want to thank you, Raja and Solim, for the invitation, for inviting these wonderful people. It's a big honor for us for being here, and I hope to come back with more clarification on the topic, gender equality. Thank you. We have come to the end of this TV show, and we can definitely say that the world of African women is growing.
And I hope that on another occasion we will meet together. Thank you.